everyone, this is Gayle, and welcome to my channel tonight, where we're the hashtag Be Bodacious, which means we're all about letting life not get in the way of living, which is exactly what happened to me last night. So thank you all for your patience on me switching the live stream from last night to tonight. We're not in my plans, obviously, to do that, but just sometimes things just come up. And yesterday was just one of those things. So tonight we're going to have just some general chit chat. Glorida Accardo asked a question that I want to address on this live stream. And she is asking, what has my experience been with a service dog? Specifically, let's see, what has my experience traveling with my service dog been like so far? So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to answer her question, and then we're just going to kind of talk and catch up. I feel like I owe you that from the experience yesterday, for which I wholeheartedly apologize. It was, like I said, it was just one of those things. So what happened was, instead of being able to do the live stream like I had planned on, because it's Saturday night, so where am I at Saturday night at 7:30? I am on the live stream with you all, and have been for quite some time now. And so, yesterday I wound up having to go to the emergency department. I had a little cyst, and I kind of felt weird going to the emergency department just because of a cyst. But yeah, I went, and when I got there, the doctor looked at it and he's like, "Oh no, this is not a cyst." And I'm like, "Oh," because then you start to feel even more stupid, right? Because you don't want to waste anybody's time in the emergency department. That would be crazy. Totally counterproductive. And he was like, "Yeah, this is not a cyst." He said, "You have got an abscess." So that took a lot longer to deal with and all that stuff than I wanted to. So yeah. So one of those things, right? So wound up, after they did all their medicines and stuff, I wound up just zonking out in the car afterwards. Totally blew past live stream time. We were not even home, but I had planned to pull off and do the stream. That's in my mind what we were going to do, but then it just totally didn't happen. So we are here tonight, and we have Thomas Moore's Trains in the house. Hey, going to Chattanooga, Tennessee for his birthday. I hope you have a great trip. Chattanooga has got a lot of really cool things to offer, and I know probably you're going to have to visit the railroad there, but there's also the Mission Ridge Tunnel, by the way, which is really cool. But one of the other things, if you get a chance to do, right as you go down the interstate into Chattanooga, you're going to see the signs for this park and nature center. If you go inside the park, there are actually World War II ammunition magazines that you can walk into, and it's still got all the information on the wall as far as what was stored there and so forth. It's just a really neat thing, and they don't advertise it that much. Like, I don't think they advertise it at all, but it's just really, really cool. You're going to go ride the Southern 4501. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're going to enjoy that. You are going to. So I was looking up a ton of stuff, oh my gosh, about the railway, and I'm trying to pull it up as I talk to you, but we talked about doing a live stream, and I'm still looking forward to that, but my life kind of went sideways for just a little bit. So I did some research, though, on some of the railroad history in Chattanooga. And Gloria, if you're listening tonight, I promise you I am going to get to you. Don't get mad at me. And I don't see it now. Anyway, Tennessee has got a lot more railroad information, railroad history rather, than I had expected. And I knew we had a lot, but it's just really cool. And I wound up with a much longer list than I thought, which was really, really great. Let's see. Here we go. Finally, I find this file. So, yeah, it's like pages and pages long. And I haven't even gotten started yet, really, just kind of getting the surface of it. And it's like way long. So I'm excited about that. I have lots of places to visit, lots of things to do, and being able to talk about the whys and the hows of the railroading history is going to be great. So lots and lots of prep for that, which may include going to Chattanooga and looking those things up again. And let's see. Hey, over 60 and enjoying myself is here. Hey, Lori. Busy Lady is in the house. Hey, Busy Lady. And yes, they are. They're carrots. These are my 2-carat earrings. So there you go. They're just fun. And yeah, you need those. I might have enough for another pair. I'll check. If you're serious about it, I'll check. Thomas More has an old Paducah and Louisville locomotive reverser key off of Paducah and Louisville number 8300, which is really cool. And it's made of stainless steel, he says. Right there. Awesome, awesome. Gayle, I updated my page expression. Okay, I'm going to check that out. Thanks. Yes, Busy Lady says. Okay, awesome. Oh, thank you. You're always so positive. Thank you. I need that, especially after yesterday. So thank you. I'm making the note, Busy Lady. Because if I don't make a note, I'll mess it up. Okay, she quit Facebook for a while. Someone was trying to hack her over it. I hate it when people do that. Yeah, and the clone accounts. Oh my gosh. Clone accounts, you just can't. Hacking, it's like you could do a little bit more with, but clone accounts is really bad. So I hope they don't try that on you. Yes, they do look nice with your coloring. Oh, thank you, you all. You're being so nice. Yeah, yesterday was crazy. And so the end result of it is that I actually have to go to the doctor within 2 days, is what the guy said at the emergency department. So, which is going to be kind of crazy because Saturday, Sunday, Monday would be the second day, and there's no way they can work me in on Monday, I'm sure. So we'll see. It may be 3 or 4 days. And then later in the month, they sent me up to see a surgeon. So totally crazy. So, okay, Laurie says she got hacked too. And Busy says, if Facebook is stupid now, I love the memories that pop up in the memes, but can live without it. Okay, what happened yesterday? Well, I had this little cyst that was, and I explained this a minute ago. So if y'all check in later and it's redundant, sorry. But what actually, I don't know if I still do or not. If you've got mine and you would text me, that would be great. Because I don't know. I have changed phones a couple of times and stuff. Thomas Moore says you sent me an email. Okay, I'll check that too. I'll check the email right after the live stream here. So, yeah, I had a cyst, and all of a sudden it goes from this little tiny thing to it just exploded. So, went to urgent care. Urgent care gave me a bunch of medicines, and they're like, if this is not better, you need to go to the emergency department. So what happened was it didn't get worse, but it didn't get better either. So I waited a few days. And then Friday night, it just started looking really bad again. And I'm like, okay, I have to go to the emergency room tomorrow, which from us, it's a 3-hour drive to a real emergency department. So it's kind of crazy. So I got there and they're like, oh, this isn't a cyst. This is an abscess, which means they had to do a scan and do a lot more. So they were really, really nice and did a good job. But they're like, we did some stuff to it, and I need to follow up with my GP about the packing and some of the stitching and stuff that they did. And then, like I said, they've set me up with a surgeon. So, yeah, tennis ball size abscess on skin abscess. So, little crazy. So, with all of that, I crashed in the car, just sound asleep, not crashing the car, but I just fell sound asleep and just totally blew past the live stream time completely and felt terrible. So I'm sorry about that, you all. Thank you, Busy. It's a little crazy, and I've got more antibiotics to take, and I hate it. It's not as bad if I'm only taking one antibiotic, but you just feel like, oh gosh, is this going to take care of it when they start adding to it? So thank you, Busy. I don't see it, but I'm sure it'll happen in a minute. So, yeah. So anyway, here we are tonight. Yeah, with life not being quite so crazy. And I do have to say, I've got a shorts that's going to come out tomorrow instead of today, since we're like, totally off schedule here. Pipsy did fabulous in the emergency department. This was his first time ever being in an emergency department. He's been in hospitals before, but he's not been into an emergency department. So that was a new experience for him. And he did great. He just laid there and kind of just didn't do anything, which was perfect. That's what you want. And everybody bragged on him. I will say that, like, all the nurses were just, oh, what a sweet dog. And he just seems amazing. And I'm like, well, yeah, actually he is. And it was so cool. So I'm going to pop up a picture of it to share screen. There we go. So here he is. At this point, they just done their like cutting and stitching and stuff. And he was just laying there like, okay, you can pet me. And then he kind of did one ear. So I was like, okay, I got to get your ear. But anyway, that's him at the emergency department. Just calm and chilling out. So, yeah, taking more than one medication always sucks, right? It's that Paducah and Louisville locomotive reverse key that I sent you pictures of. Oh, neat. Okay. Let me see. I don't know if I can get into my email address or not. Maybe I can show pictures of them next week. I've got a bunch of tabs open. Yeah, let me get it next week. If you feel like sharing here, I can email my phone number if you do not get the text. Yeah, I can share here. It's actually usually in the description box. I don't know if I copied the description over yet, so I'll have to look. But anyway, my email, it's really hard to remember. I'm typing it in now. Gayle at GayleCrabtree.com. So if you know my name, you can use that, or you can use the other address, which is Bodacious at mail, mail.com, not Gmail. So, yeah. I had somebody actually contact me the other day, and they're like, hey, your mail's bouncing and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh. Yeah, I was kind of getting panicky there. And, I misspelled Bodacious, didn't I? Whoops. Kind of getting a little panicky there. And she was putting Gmail down. I am going, I almost put myself in timeout. There we go. There I am. Sorry about that. So, all right. So that's my life, me Vita Loca, right? So I want to get to Gloria's question because I promised her I would. And Gloria, I hope you can be here tonight. I hope you got the message that it's Sunday night this week. Gloria's busy on Saturdays, and she kind of actually says that she gave up social media, including YouTube, for a while, but then she emailed me. So, Gloria, I'm not sure what that means, but thanks for keeping in touch. And she's wanting to know what my experience traveling with my service dog has been like so far. And that's been interesting. Thank you. I just about did. I was like, no. And the button came up, are you sure? Because I'm on StreamYard side. I was like, no. So, yeah, okay. So, Gloria's question, what has it been like traveling with my service dog? And it's been really interesting. Some places, and when I say places, I'm not just talking about like stores, but like some geographical areas, let's say it that way, are just a lot more accepting of a service dog than others. And that's really surprised me because it's 2024. Lots and lots of people have service dogs. So why shouldn't you be accepting? You should be. But unfortunately, some people just are not. And that makes things difficult. So on the trip out west last summer, I didn't have too much problem, except people would give us kind of questioning looks. And a couple of people asked me if I actually had a service dog or if he was an ESA. And I'm like, no, he is a program trained service dog protected by the ADA. And you have this whole spiel that you go through. And then you try to explain the difference between, when you have time, the difference between a service dog and an ESA, and then they'll say therapy dog, and you got to get into that, which is fine. So I did have some of that. But when I went into a federal nature preserve, where you would expect them to know the rules, right, with service dogs, because it's federal, so you would expect, federal law, federal place. But I get yelled at going in, and the woman was like screaming at me, no, that's not a service dog. That's a pet. You have to get him out of here. And I'm just like, what do you mean he's a pet? No, it's like, can't you tell this? Like, does the harness not give it away? That kind of thing. But she was like, you need to get it out of here. You need to get it out of here. It's a pet. And she even took the brochure that was talking about the nature preserve, and she opens it up and she puts her finger on it and says, see, it says no pets allowed, so you've got to get him out of here. And I said, yep. And right underneath it, what does it say? Sir, exception for service dogs. So we had that situation, and I was like, okay, if you're really not going to let me in, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to get this documented. And she's like, what? You don't call the police here. And I was like, want to bet? So she got the park ranger who came in, and she was just absolutely as nice as she could be, and was just super helpful. A totally different attitude. But the woman at the desk, she was a volunteer. So I understand about working with volunteers, but still. So there was that incident. But by and large, it hasn't been too bad because most places have been accepting. Some, like up in Montana and Idaho, people were like really super nice to sometimes open the door for me. They would comment, "Oh, that's a beautiful dog," or "That's a nice dog," to me, not talking to him. And I didn't have anybody do the drive-by petting that I have sometimes with Pacer. And what I mean by that is we're just walking by somebody and they stick out their hand to start petting them as we go by without even saying anything, which is frustrating. So I didn't have that. But you are traveling with a dog, and with that there are some things that you have to keep in mind, and that is food, water, shelter, same as if he's home, except you want to bring some of your water from home. So, part of the experience is some of his stuff is taking up more space in the van. But that's okay. I love my doggy, and we're just gonna go with it. So that's really been some of my experience. Most people have been great, absolutely great. It's just you have a few bad apples in every bushel, so you just got to roll with it. But and of course we talked about my experience before at the NIH, which was awful. But that again, that's been an exception rather than the rule. So you do have the occasional oddball that's just trying to be a jerk, but by and large, you're good. You're good. It's yeah, yeah. Drive-by petting, oh my, is what Busy Lady says. Yeah, it's a real pain and it's a real thing. And sometimes you'll have uh, people come up to you and they'll say, "Hey, some service dogs handlers will let you pet them, some won't. What's the difference? Why? Why not?" And even at the emergency department last night, I had somebody ask that, and I was like, "Well, I am team do not pet." Part of the reason, a huge part of the reason for that, and then you got to explain it all. And he does mobility work. Okay. So let me show you a couple of photos of him in his cuteness here. Here we go. All right. He does mobility work. This is his work outfit. There we go. And it's got my billfold on it, so excuse that. But there's his outfit. He's got the harness, so there's a handle, and he's got the leash. You can't see in this photo just because of the angle of it, but I do have a do not pet strap on there, and at the top of it, the handle, it says service dog. He's got other little things on his back that say service dog. His tag says service dog. So, yeah. Okay, you can't see it real well, but right in here is a tag that says service dog on it. So, this is what he wears when we're out, and he's got to balance me. When we're out and I've got my hand on his harness, if somebody does the drive-by petting, it makes him turn his head and turn to the side. So if I'm holding on to him for balance and all of a sudden he takes that left turn and goes that way, then we can both hit the floor. So I'm like totally team don't pet. But a lot of people who have ESAs don't mind people petting them, which kind of is frustrating for us. And because it sets us up as service dog handlers for people to say, "Oh, well, I got to pet the service dog yesterday. Why can't I pet yours today?" And that's really that's hard to handle as a handler, because you have to sit there and you have to explain all the time why and everything, and then you have to kind of get into it as far as the explanations again and again and again. And now sometimes thank goodness for YouTube, right? I can refer people to the channel and say, hey, I've got a bunch of shorts on him. So go watch and check that out. So that's nice. That's good. There we go. Here's another outfit I can show you that's a little bit better. Okay. Wait a minute. Wrong one. Okay. On this screen, you can kind of see a little bit more. These red bags on his side here, they actually do say service dog on them. And the handle, there we go. See if I can get it better. There we go. Yeah, so this red bag here, it's flopped to the side right now, but it says service dog. And we're out shopping here. So I don't think I can get back to it. Okay. But anyway, you kind of get the, you know what I'm talking about. So, and I'm having a cape made for him. I'm so excited. A woman over on Facebook made one for her dog. It was so stinking cute. And she's like, hey, do you want me to make one for yours? And I'm like, that would be great. So she is making it, and I've ordered the patches, and I'm pretty stoked about that. So yay. Also looking to see here. Okay. He also has sometimes he will wear, I've got a pouch for him if we're going to be out and around food. And it says service dog also, which is, I think, what he was wearing that day. But he has the pouch because I have some allergies, and he's got my epinephrine and stuff in his pouch. So here we go. And ironically enough, what just happened there? Okay. And ironically enough, he was wearing this outfit one of the times when somebody says, hey, you really should think about marking your dog as a service dog. Okay. Yeah, I can't. I just got nothing for you on that. Okay, we're shopping for pinto beans there. But yeah, there's the little outfit he had on. So I guess, part of my experience with traveling with a service dog is just kind of have a thick skin and expect anything and be flexible. Be flexible. And, don't let the drive-by petters get to you. So yeah, keep your stuff with you. And yeah. And so that would be my biggest thing. And do what you can to make your dog comfortable on the trip. So sometimes Pipsy really likes to kind of ham it up because that's just him. And he's just pure ham. So check this one out. There he is. He's in our RV. He's in our trailer. And that is supposed to be, that thing in the back, that pillow is supposed to be his dog bed. Will he use it? No. What does he like to do? He likes to get on my bed and pull the covers off. They're in the floor. He's on them. And so we had to have a meeting of the minds really quickly about, you don't do that to your mommy. So that's a no-no. So you do have that kind of expectation, or not expectation, challenge, I'll say, about making your dog as comfy as possible. And he loves being in the van. I've got a shot of him just enjoying the van. I think that the van is probably his favorite, honestly. But here he is. He's laying down and he's up next to the cabinet toward the front of the van on the carpet, just kind of the lap of luxury there. And then when he's not there, guess whose bed he's usually on in the van? Yeah, not his. We actually have his set up right next to mine in the back of the van. Okay, you can't see his in this picture, but this big blue thing is my bed. I just have to put the sheets on it better. So sometimes I will look up in the rearview mirror and boom, he's on it. And so, part of your experience about traveling with a service dog is realizing that the service dog owns the place and you're just along for the ride. That's it. That's just the way it is. Here he goes. This is a picture of him hogging my bed. That nice blue comforter and stuff you saw, yeah, that's him in my van. Not the best photo, but that big tan lump that's back there, that's him. And you can't see it, but right in over on this side of the photo, across from him, that's where his bed is. Now, his bed has actually got better padding than mine, but it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. He likes what he likes, So let's see. Oh, hey, I did not see you pop in. Hey, over 50. She says, if I see someone with a service dog, I'll always say, aw, so cute. I never put my hand out towards the doggy. Yay! Sometimes the owner will say you can pet him or her. Otherwise, I'll keep walking. Thank you. Yeah, and it's a little different, if the handler says it's okay. You just don't want to do it without asking the handler. And I have been amazed at how many people don't get that you don't stick your hand in front of a dog you don't know. Like, I don't know. When I was a kid growing up, I would have got my tail. I'm raised in the South, okay? So I would have been lit up like a Christmas tree. And, there was just no 2 or 3 ways about it, and I've been surprised at how many people just don't get that. They've just never been taught. So if you're out there, awesome. Please teach your dog. Please teach your kids. Do not just stick your hands in front of a strange dog's face. That's just asking to get hurt. And something else too that I've noticed, and it's just a quirky thing, but there were not, as my previous service dog, Tomlin, was a husky mix. And sometimes I would have people go, oh, he's so cute, and can I pet him? And, once in a while. Now, if it's kids, I will, I'll fudge a little bit. And I'll say, let me go outside, and we'll take his harness off and get him out of his work uniform. And then, okay, he can, you can pet him. But I don't have as many people that were wanting to pet him as I do with Pipsie. And I think it's because he's a lab and not like a big dog. I'll pull this up. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's Tomlin right there in the middle, kind of hidden between me and the railroad stuff there. And he was a 90-pound husky mix. And then, so a lot of people just did not ask to pet him and then compare it to, this little 65-pound lab. So it's been really interesting. The only thing I can think of is it's just the size of the dog that matters. What do you all think? What do you all think? Because that's the only thing I can come up with. Yeah. Now I did have somebody when I was at a national park with John. He was Tomlin was and he was in the front seat. And this kid and his father go walking by the car, and this kid goes, "They've got a wolf in their car." And I'm like, "No, he's just a husky." Anyway, that was funny. Okay. Oh, Lori, you're going to love her channel. Just saying. You are absolutely going to love it. Super positive. Yeah, I think you're right about common sense not being so common anymore. Buffering. Oh, did it quit? Did the buffering quit? Hope so. Oh, hey. Hello. Candy We Service Dog. Laurel's here. Yay. Good to see you. Tomlin was more intimidating. That I really kind of think that's it. That's the only thing I can come up with. Candy the Wee Service Dog. People ask to pet Candy at the same time they put their hand on her. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. She does. You're gonna like her channel. So yeah, because he was 90 pounds, and something that was in my experience that I was not expecting is I think one evening we were actually targeted because of him. And that I was not expecting. It actually happened twice. Service dogs are a high theft item. And I hate talking about this because it makes me so mad. But if you think about it, if you take somebody's $20,000, $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 trained service dog and you offer them for sale, you steal the dog and you offer it for sale for $800 or $1,000 on Facebook, then you've just made that much money. So I think that twice we were targeted. Once I was at a rest area. Actually, both times I was at a rest area. Crap. And this guy was just acting really weird in his vehicle. And then these other three guys came in with their pickup truck. And I was like, can I just stand next to you all? So that was really good because they were a construction crew and it pulled in with their truck. And so the guy wound up peeling out of the parking lot. And then the other time I had this weirdo just asking me all kinds of questions about, is it a trained dog? And where did you get the dog? And what does he do? And I'm like, you're allowed to ask. Is it a dog required because of a disability? And what work or tasks that he been trained to do? But he was he was following me around. And we went over to the other side of the parking lot where the dog release area was. And he was like, yeah, I'm looking for money. I had money. I lost money out here. And I was like, I don't think so. And I'm like starting to turn Pipsie around. And Pipsie picked up on it. Now, he never growled or offered to like snap or bark or anything. But the dogs are trained to create space for you by getting in between you and obstacles. And the guy at this point had come close enough to us that Pipsie just comes right from my side, right in front, just like that, just kind of blocking. So he was actually an employee, and I let his supervisors know. And John was with us. So once he came out of the rest area, I'm like, we need to go. We just need to go. And so we did. Do I carry pepper spray? No, But there's always a but. In my van, I am allergic to wasps and hornets. So in my van, I have wasp and hornet spray at 2 doors, and I have fire extinguishers, the cans of fire extinguisher spray at the other 2 doors. So, like, I've always got that in the back of my mind. So now I have started sticking a can of wasp repellent in my pocket because, you just might run into a wasp sometime. Doesn't necessarily have to have wings and fly. So no, I don't carry pepper spray, but I do have that. Candy. Oh wow, people are just okay. So Candy says she even had a lady try to grab Candy off my. Oh, I remember you talking about this now a couple of times. Try to grab Candy off her lap to hug her in a store. Poor Candy looked at me like, "Mom, what's wrong with this person?" So glad the manager stepped in to help. Right? Right? I'm glad he was there. I'm glad he understood. I'm glad he was willing to intervene because all of those things come into that. So, yeah. So, I tell you one experience that I had at the ER yesterday that I was not expecting. And I was really, really glad that this person asked. And Gloria, that probably more than answered your question on what my experience is like has been like traveling with a service dog. But if not, shoot me an email. I can muddy the water some more, okay? So, but yesterday I went to the emergency department and I'm talking to the guy. They have like an initial screening. What on earth? Oh, rubber band. They have an initial screening, and then you go in the back toward triage, and then you go on into whatever portion of the emergency department you're going into. And the guy asked me, the 2 questions: Is this a service dog required because of the disability, and what work or task has he been trained to do? But we were talking and we found out, people in common, which is really kind of cool when that happens. And he has a service dog at his house, and he told me who it is and stuff, and we were talking. But then he asked me, and it is kind of outside the 2 questions, but I'm really glad that he asked. He said, if you feel comfortable, would you tell me how your dog alerts? Because I told him mobility assistance and medical alert. And he said, if you don't mind, if you feel comfortable, would you tell me how he alerts? Because if we know what to look for and we see him alerting, we can help you better. I thought that was great, personally, just saying. So that gave me some confidence there, some security there about him asking that, if he started barking, somebody wouldn't think it was just a bark or misbehavior, that there would actually be something behind it. Now, John was with me at the ER yesterday, but that doesn't mean he's always going to be there. And so that's a great question. And I've been thinking since yesterday, I have a sheet that I carry inside the box with my epinephrine. And on that sheet is like my doctor's, my medication list, blah, blah, blah. And I think I'm going to add onto that sheet a little thing about if Pipsy is doing this, this is an alert, this is a problem, this is not misbehavior. Just so if EMS is called sometime, that they'll know what to look for. Because I was in a situation several years ago where I did have a seizure, and John wasn't with me. Nobody was with me. So I was with a friend, though. So that was good. But they didn't really know what to do except call EMS and call John. So I think, though, I'm going to add that. So, all right, let me get back over here to the chat. Let's see. Busy Lady says she can't imagine. She used to get mad when people in stores touched her baby's feet when he was in the shopping cart. LOL. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And yeah, he does not know you. Why are you touching him? Right? That's a big thing. And Candy says she goes to businesses that know her, and she goes to a new business. She always introduces Candy so they get to know them. That's a good idea. That's a real good idea. Because, I think it's better to be, safe than sorry. Yeah. Obviously, not something I can do when I'm traveling, but it is something I do locally. Like locally, where everybody knows at all the businesses I go in, whether it's Walmart or my favorite restaurants, they're like, hey, that's the service dog lady. So I'm always glad when they call me a lady instead of some other things that people could call me. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, and I did find out about this cute thing. All dog lovers, okay, you all need to know about this. It's so cute. So if you go to a national park, a lot of national parks have this program called the Bark Ranger, BARK Ranger. And you go and you just fill out this form and you talk to them, and they will bark means like bag your poop, always stay on the leash, use your relief areas, things like that. But after you do that and fill out your paperwork, they'll give you usually either a certificate or a tag or something so that you can be declared an actual BARK, BARK ranger at the national parks. So here he is with the tag that he got. And let me see if I can get it to come in. Pecos National Historic Park. You probably can't read that, but it's got the name of the park on the tag. So it's just a really cute, kind of fun way to keep up with the parks that you go to. And here's the one that he got from Big South Fork. That was free. So if you travel with your dogs and you go to a park, check that out because, like I said, it's just kind of fun. At the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, they gave us a certificate. So it's not as fun as the tag, but it's still kind of cute and fun, So, yeah. And it doesn't cost anything, but like I said, what they give you may be a certificate or a tag, but that's okay. That's all right. And we did go to a national park this past week. Oh my gosh. These past 2 weeks have been just absolutely insane. The first part of last week, was it last week? Yeah. No, week before last now. My husband had a seminar he had to go to, or they call it, yeah, conference that they had to go to. I'm getting my words mixed up. So he had to be there for a few days, and then I had to be in the same town for a few days. So we were able to get the travel trailer and take it and be gone for the entire week for what it was going to cost me for 2 nights at the conference that I was supposed to go to. And in the middle of that, we had doctor's appointments. So Wednesday we were both free, and that's when we went to see the movie Cabrini. Then we had the doctor's appointments, and we went to those on Thursday, and it really kind of worked out because we were closer to the doctors where we were staying. So we had the trailer park for that whole week, and then I wound up on Monday, of course, going to urgent care, blah, blah, blah. But in the middle of all of that, we actually got to take a genuine, bona fide, 2-day vacation to go to New River Gorge National Park. That is in West Virginia, and it is, let me see if I can pull it up. The view is like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Now we went, and it's off season, so it's not really that pretty yet. But we gotta go back when it is pretty because the view is just amazing. So if y'all get a chance, go. I'm looking for it. And oh yeah, this is the longest steel structure bridge in the Western Hemisphere, by the way. So that's kind of neat to see, and you can drive over it too. So here we go. Just kind of neat. And you can still see some of the structure there. But let me see. Yeah, there's a video of it. I am looking for, let me see. I'll stop sharing just a second. I'm looking for the view. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. So that's a view from the Welcome Center. They've got, yeah, my husband's finger is in. So this is a kind of cool view of the bridge. And this, they've got a viewing platform that you can walk down to see the lower section of the bridge. And I'm like, sure, that's probably handicapped accessible. Not going to question that. Y'all just go ahead and have fun. Because it starts at the visitor center and then just goes all the way down. And it's like it goes down forever. This is not a really good picture of it, but it's the only one I could get. And it's like, y'all just go and have fun now. But yeah, the views were just incredible. And we're so high up that you're looking down at the top of some of the treetops, so you know you're pretty high. So this bridge is actually one of the highest in the U.S. I think it's the third highest in the U.S. But it's just amazing. So there we are. That's the panoramic view of it. So I'm standing at the back of the visitor center area and taking that panoramic shot. I can just imagine when everything's green or when like winter spring wildflowers are out. So it's going to be gorgeous. Okay, let's see. Going back to the chat here. Candy shares her pertinent information about what kind of behavior they may see Candy do for one of my disabilities. That's a great idea. Oh yeah, it was. And then Candy says her zoo puts your service dog description information, breed, size, color, type, etc. when you have a zoo membership. That's so cool. Cool. Aw, beautiful spot. Yeah, it was gorgeous. And I just can't wait. That's probably a pretty good idea. So, yeah. So anyway, in the midst of all of that, we got to actually take 2 days and just relax. So that was good. So I have to ask, I talked about this before. Have any of you all gone out yet to see the movie Cabrini? Cabrini? Please tell me you have. Because it's just amazing. And they may still have, I don't know, but you could check the website and see if they still have free tickets. They did when I checked about a week ago for somebody. So it's under their Pay It Forward program that they have. Or maybe it's 2 weeks now since I checked, actually. But that is an amazing movie. So if you all get the chance to go, this is one that's actually worth the money, I think, to get in if you have to buy your ticket. So, busy, nope, what's it about? You got to go. I think you're going to like it. So, it's based on a true story, and it's Francesca Cabrini. She's a nun, and what she wants to do is she wants to go from Italy, and she wants to start orphanages in China. So she goes to her immediate supervisor, which I can't remember the levels in the Roman Catholic Church. But anyway, she goes to the next rung of the ladder, and she's like, I want to go do this. And they're like, yeah, no, you can't. Sorry, you're a woman. Women don't do these things and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what do you mean? So she keeps going and going and going and working her way up the food chain. Very persistent woman. And she gets to the Pope finally after a few years of trying. And she tells him that she wants to go to China to start an orphanage. And the Pope says, not a problem. You're going to America. And she's like, but I asked to go to China. And he's like, yep. And you're going to go to America, right? And you're going to do what you can and make the best out of it, basically. So she and some sisters went over to America, confronted huge amounts of Italian poverty. This is in the 1850s. They weren't picked up from the train station. They had to walk. It was just obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. She went to the mayor at one point and said, I need money for an orphanage. And he says, no, we're not going to give you anything. Go raise your money from the people you're serving. And she's like, they're poor. And he's like, well, you're not getting a dime from us. So she overcame that with a lot of hard work, a lot of faith. At one point she's given this piece of property and it's got this beautiful house on it and it's going to make this fabulous orphanage. It just has the slight complication that there was not a well on the property for them to get water from. So it shows them doing bucket brigades from the river on up. And yes, this is spoilers, but that's what the movie's about. And it's amazing. And so you've got all that. And then you've got the fact that this woman was born premature and she always had problems with her lungs. And she was several times told, she was not going to live. And she's like, okay, I'll accept that. And she was just going to work as hard as she could for whatever time she had. She also had a near drowning where she almost died, which was one of the things after that. She became totally afraid of water. And here the Pope is telling her, you're going to go to America. You're not going to go to China. Well, she's in Europe, and China's a lot easier to get to. It doesn't involve this multi-day ocean crossing, which I think was pretty brave of her to do. We are talking about 1850s here. And yet the movie is Cabrini. And it's I just freaking loved it. And in this woman's lifetime, given the fact that she was told no all the time, and she just kept finding ways around it when she was told no. But she lived until she was 67 years old. So much for, being told all these times that she was going to die. And not only that, but in her 67-year lifetime, she wound up opening 67 orphanages and hospitals. It's cool. So, okay, Candy, we'll see you. Thank you for coming in. And there's a link to the trailer that I just posted, so y'all can see what you think of it. I loved it. It just spoke to my woman's advocacy heart, because she is fighting this patriarchy, and they're telling her, like, if we let you go, basically, if we let you go, we'll have to let other women go. And she's told that whether the success or failure of other women's groups going and doing these things, it was all going to rest on her. No pressure. Kenny the Wee Service Dog, my pleasure, Gayle. You're awesome. Thank you. Gotcha. I don't know if this is going to come out on streaming. I have not found out anything about that. If you guys find out that it's going to come out on streaming, let me know. It's an Angel Studios production, and I don't know. And I kind of wonder if them having the free tickets is part of not offering it on streaming. I don't know. I've just not found out anything about whether or not it's going to be streamed. But if you get the chance to watch the movie, watch it. Because I think with you all that are in here, I think it's going to speak to your advocate hearts too. Just totally neat the way she kept being told no, and she kept the interesting ways she found to like make things happen. There you go. You do try hard. So, all right. Well, you all, thank you for hanging out. And again, I appreciate your patience on yesterday. Hopefully, we're beyond that. We'll see, but hopefully. And later in April, I may need to reschedule a couple of the live streams just because of going to New Mexico for my grandbaby's birthday. She'll be, it's like the first weekend of May, but we're going to go out before that because we need time to drive and stuff. So, but I'll get with you all later on that. So thank you all so much. You all go out and have a great weekend. What's a few hours that are left of it? I should say have a great week, right? And I will see you all. A couple of videos coming out this week and then live stream Saturday night. So thanks for coming out, you all. Take care. Good night.